Scott McKay. You are now getting to hear firsthand, folks around the world, what the Patriot Streetfighter movement is all about with these wonderful, blessed, sentient beings here. Most of you know, folks, that I have been incredibly honored to now be able to travel the country with this international humanitarian icon, Sasha Stone. Imagine that privilege for me. Imagine that privilege for me. Check, check, check. So, on top of that, I also get the opportunity to hang out with the kick-ass Southern California humanitarian attorney, Lee Bendis. So everything that has been going on in my life in the last, God, I say a year, I launched this war a year ago, January, is something I never expected. I knew at some point in my world, most of you have heard my story, some point in my world, I would have to step forward, give up my coveted anonymity. When people say to me, Scott, where the hell have you been? Where the hell have you been? Where have I been? I've been talking like this for 25 to 30 years. Where the hell have you people been? Are you kidding me? So anyways, you know, everywhere I go now, somebody's screaming out, hold the fork in line. And I can see people in Utah are holding the fork in line. Truly amazing. Truly, truly amazing. So, you know, when we started this war, January of last year in 2020, you know, most of you know I was in the world of elected politics, running campaigns, working campaigns. I was tracking my way to the United States Senate. Once I lost my aviation contract, naval aviation opportunity, when they had the Reagan, or the, I should say, the Bush 1 cutbacks under Dick Cheney's SEC defense tutelage, ruined my opportunity to serve the country because they were scaling back the Reagan buildup. I didn't see it back then. I didn't see the leader of the Fourth Reich, the Nazi Bush war machine. I didn't see that. Nobody saw it. Nobody knew what it was. And so now that I look back all those years, that fork and scumbag did me the biggest favor of my life, because I could have been killing people from the air indiscriminately, a lot of innocent people around the world in these war zones for these international bankers. So when God tracks your life in a different way than what you think is best for you, I can assure you, you will learn that the universe never makes mistakes, never has, never will. And I got through that period of time because I walked away from a national competitive bodybuilding career because I wanted to serve my country in that way. And I was that guy that was turning the corner, and I walked away in one day. Went down that track, didn't work out, my life was just wrecked, destroyed. So, a very devout Christian friend of mine said, Scott, I honestly thought this is what God wanted for you too. Her brother was Eric Van Camp, the Oklahoma cornerback, the top Harrier pilot in the Marine Corps. She said, you're exactly like he is. You remind me of him. And she said, so I thought God wanted you to be a Navy or Marine fighter pilot too. The only thing I can tell you is that he never puts a dream in front of you to go after and then pull it away from you and it's in your grasp. If he does, he's going to replace it with something much greater and more powerful than you could ever imagine. And here we stand today, taking our country back. Taking the world back, we are going to deliver the biggest victory humanity has ever seen. And it started at the grassroots level with you people. So the reason I keep looking down at this rail is I don't know where this leg's ever going to land. This is a side that was paralyzed when I came out of that grave. And that's why I got my Herman Munster disco boot on. Probably noticed that, huh? It's about 1.5 inches shorter than the other leg because it was destroyed like everything else in my body. So there's enough metal in me to build a bicycle. But, you know, when I was laying in that trauma center, 11 days later, after I woke up, I had my death experience. I was able to glimpse at that, rectify and reconcile that my life was over. I was dying on the road face down, wasn't breathing, I was conscious, but I knew I was totally prepared because I had this wave of peace come over my whole soul, laid my forehead down on the road, and you know, just knew that in 40 seconds I would pass out and everything was going to be okay, absolutely okay. And then at some point, my lungs kicked on. I'm surprised when I'm now conscious and living. It didn't end there. Wonderful people, amazing surgeons, and medic people, they did everything they could to keep me in the games till they could at least have a shot to get me, onto a table and start going to work on me. So 11 days later, I wake up, paralyzed on my left side, pain like you can't even imagine. My pelvis was blown off my spine on both sides, blown apart in the front, open book fracture that I could have given birth to a 30-pound baby. This leg was busted in 7 pieces. My foot counter-rotated on the left side till it nearly fully severed. And as that bike was going into the side of a van, the underside of the frame first when I laid it down, from 50 miles an hour to 0, the van buckled at the center point, destroyed the van. My bike nearly destroyed me. And so all that damage required things that they've never done before to that extent. So when I wake up, I have this world that I live in. I'm trapped in a broken shell. Pain beyond comprehension, watched the clock for 2 straight days, every second, 48 hours, begging to die. Let me die. Once we get past that, you're given the news that my life is going to be what it is. So I remember the person I was married to at that time expressing concern for the future now that I'm physically destroyed. I'm going to lose my company. I'm going to lose everything I have. She was okay. She made a lot of money. But I thought this is kind of a terrible time to bring this up. I'm fighting for my life here, right? But I remember looking at her and I said, I knew her for 20 years. I was married for a year. I said, you know me. I know how bad this is. I said, but I am not going to allow this to ruin my life. I'm going to turn this into an asset. I don't know how yet, but I'm going to turn it into an asset. Then I launched after I cleared my world of all negative energy, which left me homeless, penniless, and crippled in 8 months. It was the right decision because I cleared out everything in my world that wasn't high vibration because I couldn't fight 2 wars at once. I'm telling you this so you understand why it's critical not to hang on to things, people, or relationships that are not meant to be in your world. Many people are saying I'm losing all my friends and family over all of this. Okay, my contention is you're not losing your friends and family, you're gaining your friends and you're gaining your new family. These are the people that God has on the track with your ascension process. So you're doing it together. You don't have control over these people. That's not for you. Spreading the word, explaining to people what's happening, that's all you can do. It is their choice. It doesn't matter if it's your brother, your sister, your friend, your father, your child, whatever. There's only so much you can do. You have to now start focusing on your own ascension. Because what you're going to do is you're going to multiply the reach you have. Your frequency goes higher. You're going to draw more and more people into this vortex that you now know as the temporal bubble of love energy. That's what you're seeing here tonight. This is what we get every night. There's a massive temporal bubble of love. It's a vortex that's sucking all of you into it. How does this happen? Look at this crowd. When did you know this was going to be here? How many days ahead did any of you people? 2 days. A guy said tonight, he's from Texas. I talked to him on email. His good friend lives down here. He says, holy, the Patriot Street, you know Scott McKay? Yeah. Patriot Streetfighter bus just rolled up the street, right? So anyways, these things are not accidental. None of these things are accidental. I'm just checking to make sure that we're still on the radio in Studio B. And let's see here. Can't really tell. Looks to me, hey, welcome. We still have them. Thought I lost my audience. So anyways, this is happening everywhere we go. My privilege is this. I get you tell me over and over, thousands of people telling me how much you appreciate me going after these criminals and scumbags at the highest level. I'm honored by that. I'm truly honored by that. The impact that I'm having on your world, that Lee Dundas and Sasha are having on your world, and everybody that's part of what we're doing as we roll this machine across the country, you have no idea. You don't have a clue of what you're giving us. You say we give you hope. How much hope do you think we back here have tonight watching all of this? Imagine what we get to live every single day. 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. We're exhausted. I'm not right now because I have you. Because I get to look in your eyes and I can see what I see. I'm an eye reader. People know that about me. I'm an eye reader. I look in your eyes. You can talk to me all day. You can say nothing. I'm looking in your eyes and that tells me everything that I need to know. I don't find many dark energy people. There's infiltrators here. Yes, I know you're here tonight. I know you are. There's one or two here. The dark energy, I can't pick him out, Sash can. He can see that dark energy. He's that trained. But let me say to you, that one or two out there, it's been sent by others. Let me explain something to you. You're on the losing side. You have a choice as well. We will extend the same amount of love to you as well if you're willing to look into the light. If you're willing to look into the light, you know you will find a home. But I promise you, if you have other intentions, you will be buried by this movement. You will be buried by this movement. So that's why I keep my tomahawking, to reflect my native heritage, the honor of my native heritage, the Cherokee tribe, some of the Seneca tribe, primarily Cherokee. I bring this as an indicator of what we're willing to offer. This is a peace pipe. It's a functional peace pipe, okay? So, no, I've never packed a bowl with this thing. I hear that all the time. I've never packed a bowl with it. But, there's always a first. I knew there was somebody out. All right, somebody's got a bag around here somewhere. How cute. So, this is what we offer. This is what we offer to you in a crowd. You get the same offer. We'll smoke the peace pipe. However, if you're not willing to put down your corrupt ways, leave office, or flat out surrender, the only thing left for you is the blade of war of we, the people. And I assure you, it'll bury you. It'll bury you. You know, here's how convinced I am that we win. I'm so convinced that I can stand up here and call these scumbags murderous, pedophile, SRA criminals, because they are. That happened from the first time I turned the radio mic on for the Tipping Point on Revolution Radio when I created that show. And I think most of you have heard me say, this was to be a show on human consciousness and spiritual ascension. That's what it was going to be, right? Turned the mic on, started a show, and out of the gate, I was taken over by an entity. And it turned into this high-octane, full-throttle truth hammer, raining down hellfire on every scumbag in Washington, D.C., every state house, the Vatican, the royal families, big tech CEOs, anybody that's working against the benefit of humanity. I was sick in the stomach when I come off of that show. And the next week, I was going to deliver my Christ-like message for humanity. Next week, as I lit it up, it turned into this full-throttle truth hammer raining down hellfire on these scumbags. And I'm like, I'm going to get this under control before the producers say you're too much. So I had it down. I had my message down. And the next week, as I launched into this full-throttle, high-octane truth hammer on these scumbags, I relented and I was like, okay, I get it. Sometimes you have to just listen. You got to listen. And I know I wasn't listening on the track that I was on for 25 years of my life in startup companies, trying to hit the home run, the big win, so I could be wealthy enough to run for the United States Senate and be in a place where nobody owned me, and I can tell people exactly what I thought, let them run me out of there, and I can have a life to go back to. And all I wanted through this course of time was I wanted enlightenment. I wanted to be a participator in the rise of human consciousness. Here's the thing, though. I wasn't listening. All these startup companies I was part of, I would flame out. My passion would flame out because I knew that's not where I belonged. I wanted to be out here fighting this war, trying to deliver my own victory for humanity. So when I wasn't listening, one day I got a sledgehammer to the forehead, and that was the day that I laid this Harley Davidson into the side of the van at 50 miles an hour. So when I cleared the table of all things negative in my world, I ended up back in California. A wonderful man took me in. Alan Davis saved my life. I was ready to finish the job that should have happened that day. And I refused disability, so I was poverty stricken for nearly 7 years. But I had a place to live, bedroom, bathroom, and I found ways to make money to feed myself. I got an EBT card for $192 a month after about 2.5 years of this. And so I continue this attack and this assault on this wreckage to try to wake it up, make it work again. To cut the story short, that happened. And that led me to a state of consciousness that allowed me, after a walk away from God in 1999, fork you, I'm done, drop it on me, I'm done with you, I'm not going to live in guilt and fear anymore. But that's what the religious order pushed me into with all this dogma bullshit. Sorry, if you love that, I don't, you have your path. Mine was quantum physics, metaphysics, epistemology, different philosophies, trying to find the blueprint, right? That was what I needed. And so what happens after this catastrophic event, then it leads me to a place where in my research I get down the secret space program rabbit hole. Start learning about the truth of what's going on off planet, the technologies, the interaction with highly advanced, malevolent and benevolent, non-terrestrial life, billions of years more advanced than we are, that have the exact same focus for their species to ascend higher and higher, to fold back into source. They're chasing God like we are. Believe it or not, that's what brought me right back home. And one night, when I was upside down in my bed sleeping, and I was having this conversation, I was asking for validation, and I got it. Middle of the night, something stirred me. It didn't feel like something touched me on the left-hand shoulder. I don't know why I was upside down in bed that night, but I was on my right side, and I felt something, some presence on the shoulder. And when I stirred, the first thing that came into my mind, without coming fully awake, was, is this you? And just the conscious thought of that delivered my answer. And I had this electrifying wave that it instantly engulfed my entire body. And I knew what it was. It is me. Whatever me is, it was that. And I didn't move for about 15 seconds, I'm guessing. I said to myself, don't wake up, just be, so I could experience a state of bliss. I woke up the next day, the first time in my life I had inner peace, the first time ever. And it's been like that ever since. I won the war against my injuries. I overcame the paralysis to a great degree. And if you notice me walk, I don't walk perfectly, unless I see a pretty girl and I'm just like, no problem, It's funny the corrective force that has on a human being. It's not just me. You can say what you want, guys. I know how it is. So that's what happened to get my attention. Now, 2.5 months into getting my life back, walk again, work again, ride again, I had my dream Harley Davidson coming in downtown Dallas through an intersection. A big Texas pickup truck came through the intersection, took me out at high speed, destroyed me all over again. I'm flying through the air across 6 lanes in an intersection, taken out on this side, landed on my back. I have a plate that runs from here up around my hip. My pelvis is screwed in both sides with 6-inch screws. I'm plated here, spinal fusion. I have my foot reattached, my ankles held together with metal. When I landed on my back, I looked down, picked this leg up with both hands, a clean break right here below the metal, broken femur right here, 4 inches above my ankle, the foot that I thought I was going to lose the first time because he gave me a 30% chance for the bone to heal, was flopped down like this, shattered, turned inward, my foot's inward, and I looked down and said, I'm going to lose my leg on this one. Get to the trauma center, they light up the screens, they look at all the metal to hold me together, and they were like, are you forking kidding me? What are we going to do with this guy? I begged them to save my leg, told them if you give me a chance, I'll make it back. I will make it back. I thought I had my ascension experience already. So here I lay in this trauma center, and this is what I'm thinking after this epic comeback. I'm laying here looking down and I'm like, are you shitting me? I said it out loud in that trauma bed. So I said, okay, I guess the epic comeback wasn't enough. It's got to be a super epic comeback. So for the last 2 years, after a lot more metal put in my body, here we are again on another comeback trail. Why do I tell you that story? Everything in your life is based on 2 things: your belief and a decision, nothing more. I knew through the realm of quantum physics, in this quantum reality, a construct of our creator, that we have far more power than you can possibly imagine. And I knew that. I knew that the Christ consciousness would allow me to get my life back, walk again, and then come out here and shake you people up. Say, can you not understand the power you have and what you are, what you're grounded in, what you're made of, what you're built with, the energy frequency? If you knew that, you would buy into the cliche you've been telling everybody your whole life. Christ says, you will do all of these works and even greater works than I. Do you think he was bullshitting you, folks? That's exactly the power you have, and I wanted to be able to share that with you so you know, no matter what you think, the universe doesn't make mistakes. You're not an accident. You are here for a specific reason, and right now, it is time to unleash yourself. Unleash yourself. I'm Scott McKay. Folks, thanks very much. I love all of you. I'm going to stick around and take pictures and do everything that you want to do tonight. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.